Our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Technology can shape growth, help us be more agile, we can use technology to change, disrupt the landscape of the industries that we participate in. Building technology so that others can build technology and make things happen. Our success is not dependent on our products. It's dependent on the success that our customers, our partners have with our products. It's really not about our ambitions, but it's the application of our ambitions so that we can deliver digital transformation. I want you to envision what difference can you make to shape the world.
Hey partners, thanks for joining us today on the panel. I'm Justin Slagle, Partner Development Manager here at Microsoft. And today we're going to have an exciting, kind of a little bit of a different show than what you might be used to. I'd like to welcome my partners who've joined us for this call and say thanks and hello to Jason Hinton and Kat Daniels and Sherman Crancer's partners for being on the show with us today. We've got a lot going on today. I'm going to share some of the agenda here. We're going to talk about Microsoft by the numbers. We'll talk about some of the things that have been coming out over the last, let's say, 30 to 60 days. There's been some really exciting announcements, including some things last week about reserved instances and server subscriptions in CSP. We'll talk about nonprofit licensing that's available in CSP, SQL Server. We've got a Microsoft 365 boot camp coming up here in Irvine that I want to make sure everybody's aware of. We had a really great cloud executive summit that took place up in Redmond, and I'm going to share some videos with you. But what I'm most excited about today is that we have some guests in-house from my top partner. In fact, our #1 CSP partner in the country, on our channel development partners, is Managed Solution. So Tina Roundtree, Danielle Harma, thank you guys for being here today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Managed Solution?
Sure. Thank you so much for having us, Justin. We appreciate the chance to be here. Managed Solution is a full-service technology company, and we are hyper-focused on the digital transformation of our partners. So we do that through a number of ways, primarily consulting services, professional services, managed services, and cloud services.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so how was business for you guys? I mean, being the #1 CSP partner, I imagine it's pretty good. Why don't you tell everybody?
Absolutely. We have experienced a ton of growth year over year, seen a lot of growth in cloud and primarily through our CSP program. So it's been really busy and an exciting time to be at Managed Solution.
That's awesome. Danielle, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and what you do at Managed Solution?
Sure. So I've been with the company for about 4 years, started in the marketing department, and I recently moved over to manage our channel partner program. So I work closely with Microsoft and Justin and leverage my marketing background that we'll get to soon, talking about the OCP catalog and some of the Inspire award submissions and stuff.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you mentioned like a channel program. So is that a strategic focus for you guys, is building out channel?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And Tina, did you tell everyone what you do at Managed Solution?
No, I am Director of Sales at Managed Solution. I've been with the organization for a little over 4 years now. Started just doing business development for the company. We're about 30 employees. We've grown to about 80 in the last 4 years, so that's been really exciting and a bit of a wild ride. And I've been fortunate enough to move through the organization and take on the day-to-day management for the sales team.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and I've heard from a lot of partners who maybe they didn't know about Managed Solution, and as we kind of made the announcement that you guys are the largest CSP partner that we have across the country, people are a little envious. And they're also wondering, like, what does that look like? I mean, so are you guys growing through acquisition? Are you growing through just having a good presence with customers? Why are you guys so successful with CSP?
I would say that we jumped on the bandwagon really, really early in the game. Sean's our founder, saw that services companies were going to be able to sell licensing, and we were all in right off the bat. So then we leveraged our existing customer base and moved 95% of them to CSP and Office or Exchange Online. And then we also have a really large systems integration team, and so we do a lot of Office 365 migrations. And so every single migration became an opportunity to talk about licensing. And so that also helped drive a lot of the CSP.
So you kind of bring up a good point. I think what I see a lot of times is partners will get to the point to where they have existing customers, they move all those customers over to CSP, but then what's next? You guys have continued to grow the business after you've moved all your existing customers. So what are some of the things that you guys have done to continue to grow after you moved over your existing customer base?
Well, our channel program is into other companies and sell CSP licensing. And so we work with a lot of different partners that leverage us either for the services and then also procure licensing. We've also wrapped our managed services around the licensing program and been able to sell it that way as well to partners, and then also any new managed service customers that we bring on.
Okay, great. Well, I really appreciate you guys being here. And we also have, as normal, we have Jason Hinton coming to us live from Chicago. So Jason, you want to say hi to everybody, and we'll take it from there.
Getting audio from his end.
You are or are not?
All right, looks like we might be having some technical difficulties with the audio there, but so I want to say hi also to Jason's partners and Sherman's partners and Kat's partners. We really appreciate you guys being here. And so what we'll do is we'll go through the agenda. We'll talk through some of these big announcements that we have that have come out over the last couple of months. But I'd love to get some feedback from you guys as we go through some of these topics. And for those of you guys who are joining us on the phone, please feel free to type in some IMs. Eric Klaus is in studio with us today. Say hi, Eric.
Hey, everybody.
So Eric's going to be monitoring all of the IMs that you guys have. So if you have extra questions for Danielle or Tina, please feel free to type those in the IMs, or as topics come up, if you guys want to add in your own 2 cents or any questions that come up, just let us know. But let's start with our Microsoft numbers. So we recently announced our quarterly report, our third quarter fiscal year report. And I wanted to call out a few numbers that we see up on the screen here. So one is, if you look at the Office 365 commercial revenue, our growth year over year is at 42%. Dynamics revenue is up 65%, Dynamics 365, and then Azure up 93%. Constant currency kind of gets into more of the global. We take into constant pounds and euros and all those things and kind of put them together. Then the numbers go down a little bit because of constant currency. But if we just stay with the US dollar, what I want to point out here is this is what Microsoft's growing in general, globally, right? So if we take a look at, we think at Microsoft, if we've got managed partners, those are our best partners. And if those are our best partners and those are the ones we're investing in, we've got to see those numbers even higher than what Microsoft sees on a global basis. So let's talk about what we're seeing, and let's talk about some reasons why we're seeing these things. So if I look at Azure, we just said that Azure is growing at approximately 93% globally across Microsoft. Our managed partners across the US are growing at 128%. Now, I've got some really strong Azure partners like you guys. Thank you for being such a strong Azure partner. And my partners are growing at 310%. And so I wanted to share with the audience is what is it that we're doing, what is it that we're seeing together that is driving some of this hyper growth in Azure. So I'll start and I'll tell you guys, one of the things that I see in the channel that really has driven Azure growth this year is Azure Everywhere. So if you guys have not been delivering Azure Everywhere events, now the program is done for this fiscal year, but I want to highlight this, and we're really crossing our fingers that we get Azure Everywhere for next fiscal. But Azure Everywhere provides funding for partners to go out and deliver workshops for customers. From there, you can get Azure deployment dollars, which are proof of concept dollars, to allow you to take that next step when the customer says, hey, I'm interested, I want to take that next step. We also have Azure architects who can come in and train you through our architect team, as well as our data center optimization. We'll get into a little bit of that later. But Danielle, Tina, why don't you guys tell me, I know you guys have delivered things like Azure Everywhere, but how has that really affected Azure, and how does that help you drive that pipeline?
Yeah, we do a lot with the Azure Everywhere program. We've been able to bring funding to a ton of customers, and it's been a great way to even open the door to customers that maybe were just thinking about Azure, but then with the additional funding decided, hey, yeah, it's worth migrating a workload and seeing what we can do up there. So it's been a great vehicle for us.
Yeah, and let me ask you this, as I know the productivity and the Office 365 suite's been a really strong play for you guys, but moving forward, do you see that that's going to continue, or do you see that the bigger opportunity now is Azure?
Absolutely looking at the bigger opportunity being Azure,
Okay.
right? And we've seen such a strong growth in Office 365, but we're going to see the majority of organizations migrate and be there, and so we're going to have to look to Azure and some of the other workloads within the productivity suite to continue to drive our growth.
Yep, completely agree. So, I mean, if you guys have a strong productivity, I mean, multi-cloud and multi-workload is what we're seeing that most successful partners are doing. We see that the really successful partners have 4 to 6 workloads, so they're doing Office 365 and EMS, Windows, Azure, doing different things in Azure, so forth and so on. If we look at Office 365, again, this number was about 40% was the global number. Our managed partners across the country are 36% growth. I think one of the things that we see is that there's still a lot of customers who come to the Microsoft website and buy Office 365. So we're trying to do some different things at Microsoft to help those customers come over. But there's also a lot of really small customers who are like the onesie twosies who are either buying through companies like GoDaddy or they're just coming to the Microsoft site. I know a lot of times the channel doesn't necessarily want those really small customers because they're not as profitable. So there's some different things here. But one of the things that I see is that the partners are growing because of things like customer immersion experience, which is now called cloud immersion experience. And I wanted to, I have some slides on this a little bit later, but CIE's been pretty big for you guys, right?
We have 5 certified CIE facilitators on staff at Managed Solution, and we're looking at certifying 2 more in the next couple of months. So yes, we love bringing those to prospects and customers.
Yep.
It's a really good way for us to get in front of the entire executive suite, and also very light touch. We're not really selling, the product sells itself. So it's been great.
We'll hold off a little bit because I have some deeper questions,
Okay.
because we're going to talk about CIE much deeper a little bit later. But also, let's talk a little bit about the security architects that you guys have had come in. So I know Matt Sosman from our security architect team has spent some time in your office. But what is having somebody like Matt coming into the office to help you guys train on things like EMS and Windows 10 security, what does that do for you?
It just enables us to have really good conversations with our customers out in the field. So having Matt come in and talk to our sales team helps them get more up to speed on what's happening and what products are top of mind for customers. And then I think he's also spent time with our architects and helped develop some workloads and new technologies for us to explore there. So yeah, Matt's been great. We're going to have him back in within the next couple of weeks to talk to the sales team again. And then we've also sent some of our architects up to Redmond for training as well. So we rely heavily on Microsoft and leverage those resources to train our engineers.
And would you say that those types of resources who are really more focused on security have helped you move from having an Office 365 conversation to a Microsoft 365 conversation?
Yes, a lot of our customers have concerns around security and compliance, and so we need to be up to speed on the products that are coming down, and they come down pretty quickly. So yes, we're looking at data loss prevention, we're using we're having conversations around advanced threat protection and really managing identity and data versus just talking about moving mail into the cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that from the channel as well. The security conversation has helped drive premium SKUs, right? So Microsoft's premium SKU, of course, Microsoft 365, E3, E5. But security and Azure are the things that I see in the channel that are really going to be strong, and I think that's going to help us get into that next play of, okay, we've moved our customers, now what? And now it's, let's talk about these bigger workloads. And then one that I see that's frequently missed is SQL Server. Now, SQL Server across our channel is growing at an 8% clip. My partners, again, are a little bit higher at 11%. And I think one of the reasons there is we first have to make sure that you have the web apps assets. So you've got to make sure that your website has something about SQL Server, that your team has information about SQL Server on their desk. They can talk about things like software assurance. Sometimes SQL Server sales, I mean, we closed a big one in SMB last year that was $2 million. So you can make some pretty good money on a software license, even if you're not doing any implementation services. Are you guys doing anything around SQL?
We do.
Okay.
We have SQL engineers on staff, and we're seeing SQL actually get a lot of good press lately about being a great compete against Oracle, and so we're definitely having those conversations with our customers around leveraging SQL in the cloud.
Yeah. So as SQL Server, if you guys don't have, I mean, the number one thing I say is just make sure that you have SQL on your website, as well as, we talked about Azure Everywhere earlier. SQL sits in the same organization of Microsoft as Azure. They call it Cloud and Enterprise Group. And so those Azure Everywhere workshops that we were talking about with growing Azure can also be used to grow your SQL business. So you can get up to $3,000 for delivering an Azure workshop, and then you can get another $3,000 for the same customer for talking to them about SQL Server. So why not take advantage of the funding? The Azure deployment offer, it kind of sounds funny, it's Azure deployment offer, but you can use that funding as well for doing things like SQL deployments. So again, cross our fingers that they release the funds for FY19. We won't be able to announce anything until we hear from the business groups, but take advantage of the funding. We'll talk a little bit about when we go to Inspire and what to look for when we go there. Now, Tina, you and I were talking earlier, there was a major announcement last week, was reserved instances and server subscriptions in CSP. So this announcement, so we've had reserved instances at Microsoft in our enterprise agreements, which allows customers to have a discount on, if they say, hey, we're willing to pay for a year or a 3-year upfront for the compute. Reserved instances are the horsepower. That's the compute side of Azure. Now, on top of that, they need to have their OS, their operating system. So what we're doing is we're now saying, hey, you can rent the horsepower, the compute side, and then you can add on the operating system, Windows or SQL operating systems, to the reserved instance, and we'll give you the same type of discount. Now, the server subscriptions will be available in July, and you'll hear more about that at the Inspire conference, and we'll be announcing some other things there. But Tina, we were talking earlier, you actually got super excited about this, and you were just talking to a customer about it. Why do customers care?
Well, this was a really great story. You were in our office last week, and so we had the update about reserved instances, and I happened to be on site at a customer meeting yesterday. And they have a very similar business model to ours, right? They provided managed services, but they were monitoring air conditioning units for big retail outlets. As we know, brick and mortar struggles right now, and so they're actually having to adapt their business model because the Sears and Kmart's of the world are really going by the wayside. So they're turning to food distribution grocery stores to extend their offering and continue to drive revenue. So as we were having this conversation, the primary problem for them is as they talk to these customers right now their stack is built in AWS. And these customers do not want to give revenue to their biggest competitor, right? They've got Whole Foods now, and a lot of people are buying groceries direct. So it opened up the conversation for us to have a proof of concept leveraging SQL and then an application on top of SQL to provide the analytics for the AC. It's like the health of the AC and making sure that it's running smoothly, moving that into Azure. So they were excited particularly about reserved instances because they do have that option with AWS. They're getting about a 30% discount. So when we started talking about potentially a 70% discount for reserved instances in Azure, they were very excited. So it was a fun conversation to have. Thank you for letting us know about it.
I think it's probably the biggest announcement that we've had for a couple of years at least. I mean, so it's exciting. I had one of the partners reached out and he said, hey, I was doing the Azure calculator and this D-series machine it's supposed to be like $656. I'm looking at the reserved instance, it's like $256. My customer's going to get a bill on top of this? I'm like, no, that's the beauty of reserved instance. If you'll make the commitment and you pay up front, we're going to give you up to 70, I think a 72% discount. And then whenever you're able to take those server subscriptions. So the beauty is that if you have Windows Server on-prem Windows Server Data Center with software assurance, you can bring your license and create a hybrid instance in Azure. You bring that license, you don't have to pay for the Windows OS again. But I think we all know that in especially SMB, customers didn't necessarily buy software assurance with their Windows licensing. And so we're making it available that they can now buy that 1 year or 3 year rented subscription in CSP from you as a CSP partner. The other beautiful thing, though, is that if you have customers who say, okay, I'm not just ready to go to Azure yet, you can take that same server subscription and you can let them use it on premises and still get the same discount, but it carries over the same licensing terms as Azure because it's an Azure subscription. And Azure subscriptions don't require CALs. So the beautiful thing about server subscriptions is if you use that Windows Server subscription, you don't have to have CALs anymore on-prem. So there's a lot of great things that you guys will hear about. We'll be making a lot more announcements at Inspire. Just to give you guys an example here on Azure versus AWS, we should never, ever lose another Windows workload to AWS. If you look at the comparisons, reserved instances, we're already going to be less. Now, with the server subscriptions and with the hybrid use benefits, you can beat AWS in some cases by 60%. So this is a major announcement. So we should be able to win some of that business whenever you're having competitive conversations. Make sure that you leverage our team, whether it's your PDM or your partner technology strategist or our security swarm or the data center optimization. I mean, there's so much growth going on in Azure. We have the tools and resources. We do not want to lose another deal, and really, there's no reason why we should. It just makes a lot of sense now. And if you want to learn more about this, we do have a call coming up on the 29th, led by Vicki Lee. And so she will be talking about how you can go to market with these reserved instances and server subscriptions. And if you want to learn more specifically about server subscriptions, make sure you go to Inspire, and we'll be making a lot of those announcements and doing trainings and how the programs and so forth that we'll have to make this really a big hit. So I'm really excited about this one. And so we'll see how it lands. But go try it out. Now, another thing that I know has been really big for you guys at Managed Solution is you've worked with a lot of nonprofits. And so it's about a month ago or so, we made nonprofit licensing available in CSP. Why is that a big deal to you guys?
Well, we love reaching back out to the community, and we do have some partner programs that are focused around nonprofits. We do a lot in that space in San Diego and Southern California. So yeah, to be able to bring the same level of flexibility through CSP along with the deep discounts that nonprofits get through the CSP model is exciting to be able to offer our customers. It just gives us more of a holistic and total partner approach to being their technology provider. So yeah, we're starting the conversation with them all to get them moved over to Managed Solution CSP.
That's awesome. And it gets you that complete control again, right? Because now you own a complete billing relationship with the customer. So you're already sending a bill for managed services. Mm-hmm. Might as well add the licensing to it as well. So all of the licenses, all of the per seat type licenses, so Office 365, Microsoft 365, Dynamics, EMS, all of those per seat licenses are available in CSP. The only thing that's not is Azure. But let's talk about that a little bit. So nonprofits still qualify for the $5,000 a year of free Azure. That still has to go through the direct Microsoft website. But here's the trick. You can create multiple workloads in Azure, right? So you can create things like a backup, and you can let them maybe host their website. Whatever it's going to take for them to use the $5,000 in free credit, make sure that you tell your customers about it so they can leverage that. But anything above and beyond that, we can do what we call multi-tenant. You can have one tenant in CSP, they can have another tenant in direct. Let them have the free one for the $5,000 in direct. All other workloads move to CSP so you guys can build the customers for the MSP work or any additional services. So that's kind of our way to get around it, where you can still give them the free $5,000, but then also build them on anything on top of that. The $5,000 is almost like that little token, right? Just here, taste it. We'll do the $100,000 subscription over here on CSP.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, we've done that a lot with even the Azure Everywhere program, right? Just get a little toe in the door, migrate a workload, see how easy it is, and then we tend to see a lot more consumption happening.
Yep, absolutely. So I want to touch a little bit on SQL Server. So I mentioned earlier in the show that SQL Server is still growing as a big number for us, and it's still a strategic scorecard item. So we're very focused on cloud, and SQL Server. So, and that's not going away anytime soon. So that's obviously, it's a major workload. Gartner rates us as the #1 database on the planet. There's some great things that are going on in SQL Server. So number one is make sure you have the assets, and I put up a screenshot here. There is a SQL Server guide for partners. And this is actually, I think it's a 4-page document. It goes over software assurance benefits. But this is a PDF that every seller should have on their desktop or print it out if they want to put it up on their cube, so they can be able to answer questions. It gives a lot of licensing scenarios. Hey, here's where, like SQL Server, if you have software assurance, you can have unlimited VMs on-prem or in the cloud. So there's a lot of those things that are in there. So you can take this, you can take some of the data, you can put it in on your own website. But let's make sure you have that. And then at the same time, maybe you do some ads, Google ads, Bing ads, something to drive people to go to a workshop. So we're finding that those workshops work really well, right? CIE works really well, the workshops work really well. So maybe put something up there to drive people to workshop type events where you guys can drive SQL Server. But another thing that drives SQL Server are developers. And we've found that a lot of partners still don't know that you can sell Visual Studio licenses in CSP. So it's, and there's a couple resources that were announced yesterday by Jeff Wagner on our Microsoft US Yammer website. One is a contest. All you have to do is register in the contest. If you sell Visual Studio through CSP, then you're automatically so you register. All of your sales will automatically be tallied up. And then second, they now have announced an assistance program. So if you're still trying to figure out how do I sell Visual Studio through Azure, we have a team of people who can help you with that, and Jeff has outlined how you can take advantage of that. But I'll give it to you in a nutshell, guys. You just need an Azure subscription. So if you're going through Disty or if you're a direct CSP partner, either way, all you do is you create an Azure tenant for a customer. Now, with that Azure tenant, you go into the cloud marketplace. So you go to portal.azure.com, and then you go into the Azure Marketplace, and in the Azure Marketplace, you can purchase Visual Studio. So if you're indirect, going through Ingram, Tech Data, SureWeb, doesn't matter who it is, all you need from them is just an Azure tenant. Everything else you can do on your own. So that's the only piece of it. I wanted to give that little piece of advice for anybody. I had a partner yesterday who called and said, hey, I have a customer who wants 15 licenses, but they specifically asked me if they could license it through the cloud. And Disty's telling me I can only buy it if they're open. All you need from them is an Azure subscription. That's it. All right? Did you guys know about that one? I don't think I shared it with the team.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
No, we're learning about that one today too.
Yeah. So it's awesome. It still qualifies for Azure's consumption. So there's a lot of great things that come with it. Now, we talked earlier about Azure and migrating customers to Azure. One of the big programs that we have out there that I'm seeing that the most successful Azure partners are taking full advantage of is a program that we have called Data Center Optimization Program. We call it DCO internally. This team, it was a pilot program in FY17. It was a pilot program to help some of the big hosting companies move their data centers into Azure. We had so much success with the program that they created a full team around it, and that team has more than doubled in size this fiscal year because it's been so successful. But they now have business development managers, and they have architects that are on this team to help you with engineering support, as well as they have additional funding support to help you move either full data centers into the cloud or multiple customer data centers into the cloud. So the idea of the program is that we want to give you whatever it takes to help you, whether a customer's in a competitive cloud, AWS or Google Cloud, or if they're in a colo, if they have their own data center, we want to help you with whatever you need to get those workloads into Azure. So we'll help assign people to walk you through the process. In some cases, I've even seen where partners, they may be a little bit over their head. Maybe they've done a couple of small Azure backup projects, and then all of a sudden they get a customer who says, hey, we've got an opportunity, and it's $1 million opportunity, but they don't know what to do with it. So our team will actually have engineering resources assigned to help the partner out and kind of teach that partner how to fish. So this program is really incredible, but even on top of that, the even better part is that we give you extra incentives if you sign up for the Data Center Optimization Program, meaning you can make more money if you're signed up for this program than if you're not. So if you'll make a commitment to Microsoft that over the next 12 months, that you will drive a minimum of $250,000, or in some cases it can be a little bit less if you're going through one of the distributors. If you'll make a commitment that you'll drive a certain amount of revenue, then Microsoft will pay you a certain percentage extra on top of what you already make. So it's a win-win scenario. So if you guys are wanting to drive your Azure business, this is a program that you definitely need to talk to your PDMs about and make sure that they introduce you to the business team on the data center optimization. Now, on the managed solution side, I know this is something that I've been working with Ryan and Janelle on your team. We're in final contract mode, and I think you guys are probably just hearing some details about this, but from your side, what do you think? I mean, is this something that you could get behind?
Absolutely. Super exciting to think that we'll get additional revenue and then also all of the Microsoft support with the engineer training and additional help if we run into opportunities that our team might need to leverage your architects on.
Yeah, and with you guys being on the sales side of the business, I mean, when you take all of the incentives that we have, you could potentially be making, in fact, by the time all the agreements and everything are done, with the back-end rebates, upfront margin, the DCO extra margin, you guys will be making over 50% total on your Azure sales for the next 13 months. That's some pretty good margin, right?
That is.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
And you can do with it whatever you like, right? So if it's if you're building, if you want to give some back to the customer, if you guys are going to take it and pay additional spiffs to the sales reps, however you guys want to do it. But the thing I'm most excited about is that we do have a great program now to help you move some of those workloads into Azure. So for everyone listening on the call, make sure that you at least know about this program. Learn more either at Inspire, talk to your partner development manager, but this is a big one. All right, and then earlier we talked about our technical architects. That did not work out as well as I hoped that it would for our form site. But I'll make the slides available for everybody afterwards. One new feature that came up in PowerPoint, I wanted to try it out. Of course, it's not going to work out for me. But you can now embed Microsoft Forms into PowerPoint. And so whenever you're broadcasting, actually people can fill out the form right from the slide. So, but hey, Betsy didn't let us down today. So I'll send the form out to you. Essentially what we're doing, we talked a little bit earlier about the security architect that Managed Solutions has been working with, Matt Sosman. There's another couple architects on the team that they've been working with as well. Kevin Martins on the voice side, who actually helped with an opportunity with you guys yesterday.
That was really
But Kevin and Matt are going to be delivering a Microsoft 365 boot camp here in Irvine. And it'll be 2 days. So the first day will be a full day for salespeople. They'll tell the stories on how do you take your Office 365 story and turn that into a Microsoft 365 sales opportunity. How do you get from just selling email and maybe Office, and how do you get the customer to understand things like conditional access and advanced threat protection and Windows Defender advanced threat protection? How do you take that security conversation to drive a Microsoft 365 sale? What I love about how they run their sales day of training is they really just tell you stories. Right? They tell you stories of how we've seen different customers, maybe they've been attacked, and how Microsoft 365 can help with some of those attacks. And then on the second day of the boot camp, it's 400 level. They're going to open up the books. They're start coding with engineers. So it's a 2-day. You can go to one or both days. And these guys will lead you through that entire conversation. So we only have a few seats left in the boot camp. I think we have 5 seats left for the sales day. I think we have about 10 seats left for the architect day. So if you guys are interested in this, either reach out to your partner development manager. I'll send these slides out where you guys will be able to get to the registration link. But I highly recommend it. If we're looking at this as an opportunity where you can get 1 or 2 people. We're limiting at max 2 people per organization, so we can have room for everybody. But Matt and Kevin are looking at this as an opportunity to really get to know your teams and understand who they should go in bigger and better with next fiscal year. So as they're planning things out as well. So
And I'm signed up.
you are signed up.
Yep,
Perfect.
so I'll be there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But what are you hoping to get out of it?
It's just always great to have FaceTime with Matt and learn a little bit more, get a deeper understanding of what the products can do.
Yep.
So, and be able to take those stories and make them my own and share them with our customers and prospects.
Yeah.
So.
I'll be there as well. I'm really excited about it. So put it on your calendar, June 14th and 15th, if you'd like to come in, but make sure you register. So talk to one of us, and we'll help get you the links. Now, another thing that we did this fiscal year was our first time ever that we did an executive summit up in Redmond. And I know from the Managed Solution team, your CEO, Susan, came up to Redmond, and we had about, I think it was 150 C-levels from our Microsoft partners. I'm sure many of you on the call, executives probably came to Redmond to experience our partner executive summit. But what I'm announcing today is that all of the videos, so we recorded everything. All of the videos that took place where Mark Stewart was talking to all the executives about going vertical and building out vertical practices, those videos were phenomenal. Brent Combest, our boss, he did the kickoff. David Smith, his boss, did a kickoff on top of that. So all of those videos are here for everyone to watch. All of those slides, all of the partner assessments, all of the tools that all of those CEOs left the room with to help build their practice and go vertical and build a more profitable practice, it's all available. Now, you guys told me that Susan sent out all the materials for you guys and you started watching. What did you think?
Susan came back from that partner summit and was very, very excited about what she learned and the content that was delivered. And so she had already sent the slide deck out to the leadership team at Managed Solution, but we didn't have any of the audio. So I just started digging into the audio, and it's really helpful to have it to kind of bring those slides to life. So yeah, it looks like really good stuff, and I'm excited to dig in.
I agree. So definitely make sure that you guys take advantage of this content, listen through it. Mark Stewart is probably the most phenomenal trainer that I've ever experienced. I'm sure many of you guys have seen. He's been building content for us for our SMB Lives and Nurture Marketing, I believe is the name of the company. But yeah, Nurture Impact. I believe is it.
Neural.
Got it.
Impact.
Neural
It's
Impact.
Mark's company.
Yeah. So, but he does some phenomenal work. All right.
Yeah, he's an amazing speaker. I've had the opportunity to attend, I think, 2 of Mark's sessions in the past, and every time I come away from his presentations with just, what his thinking on marketing and on selling, and what he brings to those conversations, and the revolution that's happening with the buyer side today. It's really, really important for the sales teams, for all of our organizations to understand that.
Yeah, and there's really a lot of science behind it, and I think science and technology coming together to make us better. You think about things like AI. We were talking about AI earlier, and machine learning, but there's still the science behind taking things to market. And you can see it in this training. If you guys sit through some of the videos, you'll see that there is a lot of science and thought put behind everything that he talks through to help us build out those vertical practices. Now, I will tell you guys that I put some slides in here about the cloud immersion experience, because you guys, you're the best. You're the best at it. In fact, you were the U.S. Partner of the Year for CIE last year. So I wanted to tell everybody the story of why CIEs are so important, and then I will make a couple of other announcements here. But why don't you guys tell us, why is CIE important to Managed Solution, and what has it done for you for your business?
So, I mentioned before, we have 5 facilitators, Microsoft certified, on staff. And it just gives us a really easy way to connect with prospective customers and show them the power of using the productivity suite. When I was in direct sales, I loved talking to my customers, bringing all of their executives in a room, and it was just so powerful to let them kind of tease out their business challenges and let them self-solve them using the tools. So that was really, really powerful, and we started doing a lot of it. And it's been great. Every time we walk away from a CIE, we have a whiteboard of potential solutions for the customer that they didn't even know that we could resolve for them. So they're really powerful.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what's different about a customer immersion experience than just presenting. Because Microsoft has tons of PowerPoint decks that we send out to partners.
Yeah.
What's different about presenting to a customer versus what you do with a CIE?
Yeah.
So for those of you that aren't super familiar, when we do a CIE, we actually bring out devices that are pre-provisioned. So what that does for the customer, first of all, it takes away any fear of breaking things. We always say just click around. But second of all, they really get the opportunity to just dive in and drive. So they're really in the driver's seat, and they get to choose where they want to go, what they want to learn about. They're not passive. They're fully engaged the entire time. So that's the biggest difference, I would say.
Yeah.
And then it sticks with them. For our customers who've already migrated that we do a CIE with, we see consumption go up. because now they're familiar. They've actually tried out and seen what it looks like to use OneDrive or SharePoint or Teams even, and they get really excited about it.
Yeah.
And then it's top-down adoption, right? So once the leadership team is engaged and excited about the product, they'll drive utilization down through their teams, which is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think the easiest way for me to think about it is that it's facilitation versus presenting,
Yeah.
right? As you said, you're getting people involved. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can leverage CIE. You can either deliver a CIE for one customer with the 10 different people from that company, or you can do multiple customers. What have you guys found that's most successful for you?
I would say when we're at a company and have the leadership team at one company all going through the CIE together,
Yeah.
because they know each other and they really leverage working together and collaborating during the CIE. We also use it to show our partners the Office 365 tools and get them excited about it so they can go back to their customers and offer us to deliver a CIE and then just get more excited about talking about the platform.
Oh, that's brilliant. So whether it's your own sales team or if you're building a partner channel like you're doing, you're making sure that people understand it. Because I think that's one thing that's always a big miss is that our sales managers a lot of times just think, well, they should do it on their own, and we don't provide them something like this. This could be a great tool.
Exactly.
Now, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I heard you tell me one time that you guys actually bought your own kit because you're doing so many CIEs. Is that right?
We do have an internal kit that we use. We've got 11 devices that we can provision and bring on site to customers. We also utilize the Microsoft Experience kits. So whenever we go and have events, we usually order a kit as well so we can set up the full experience for our guests to test out the environment.
And Danielle, how many events do you guys do per month?
Per month. So we mix between webinars, virtual CIEs. We sometimes even dive into some of these demos when we're just on a meeting with one person. It's so easy to utilize the tools and show the value. So I'd say we have at least 3 events a month where we can really leverage the Office 365 and CIE.
So that's almost one a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
We love events.
I mean, so how are you driving that?
the different style CIEs or the
Yeah,
events?
and just getting people engaged, getting people to participate.
So we either try on a webinar with a virtual CIE, we'll send out invitations and get people signed up in advance. But when we have happy hour style events or other meetings, we focus on just a networking event, but have the kits there. So if somebody does want to test something out, they're able to just try it out. No sign up, no commitment necessary.
Almost like CIE as a service.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I put up a slide here that kind of shows there's a 48 increase of Office 365 seats sold when you're delivering a CIE. It's like over double the seats sold for mid-market accounts, 20% higher renewal rates. Are you guys seeing similar numbers to what I'm showing here on the screen? Is it really helping drive? Is it driving more premium sales? Is it driving sales faster? What is it doing?
Yeah, so anytime we come in and do a CIE for a company that's looking at a competitive product, we've never lost once they've gone through the CIE experience. And then yes, in terms of upselling licensing, it's a wonderful vehicle because a lot of our customers will have they'll start with a Exchange Online plan and not even be aware of the full productivity suite that's available to them. So when they can come in and see all the disparate tools they're using today come under one umbrella through the higher level SKUs of Office 365, they're eager to sign up and move up into the higher level SKUs.
I mean, I don't want to give away secret sauce, but it sounds like CIE is part of the secret recipe of Managed Solution.
We are all in. We enjoy doing them, and we see a lot of benefit.
All right. Well, so I've got a pretty special announcement for you guys. This was announced just yesterday. So we do have some CIE boot camps that are coming up. We've got them in 5 different cities across the country, including here in Irvine, where we're at. And I know Jason's in Chicago, and they've got a CIE boot camp coming up at the end of May there. But the big announcement is that we actually have full discounts for you guys. So if you would like to participate in CIEs, or if you have CIE facilitators and you want to get a couple more, 1 or 2 more, you do have to make a commitment on how many CIEs that you deliver to be able to stay in the program. But this discount code is a 100% discount to get in for the 2-day training, or it's 1.5-day training at any of these locations. So I sent these slides out to Danielle and Tina, and Tina, you immediately sent me something back. What'd you say?
I signed up 2 people on my team, so we'll go from 5 to 7.
So 2 of the spots are gone in Irvine, but make sure if this sounds like something you guys want to do, I highly recommend it. It's definitely secret sauce that I see from many partners who are driving Office 365, especially premium Office 365 subscriptions. Take advantage of this. Sign up for the boot camp that's coming up. Now, another thing that I hear a lot of partners talk about, and there's a ton of visibility at Microsoft for what we call this OCP, or One Commercial Partner Catalog. Danielle, you've done a lot of work with me on getting solutions into the catalog. How many co-sell ready solutions do you guys have now? Do you remember?
I think we're up to 11.
Wow. So 11. So now tell us what this is, because there's probably a lot of people who've never heard of OCP catalog. What's the idea of it? And I'll maybe add some color, but what's the idea of it for you as a partner?
The go to market and co-sell with Microsoft. So as we build these solutions, we simplify and enable the Microsoft field team to look us up and find specific solutions that then they can work with us on to deliver to their customers. So it's really helpful.
So what kind of offers are these? In fact, I have one up on the screen here, Azure Quick Start. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what is an Azure Quick Start and why does it matter that it's in the catalog?
So this is one of our offers where we try and get customers excited about Azure and show them how easy it is to put workloads into Azure and move to the cloud. So it's around the Azure Everywhere program too, where we can start out with some of our webinars and then fully walk them through how easy it is to set up an infrastructure within Azure.
Yeah. So I think, so I can kind of level set for everybody that's on the call. The idea here is that every one of you have different offers that you take to market. You have different customers that you're going after. And that's one of the things when we talk about building a vertical practice, that's one of the things that we're really hoping that we get from the partner channel. We don't need all partners to do the same things for all customers. We need everybody to be individual. We need everybody to be different and go drive a more profitable practice. But we want to co-sell with you. We want our sellers who are out in the field to be able to have offers that are coming from you as our partners, not just the Microsoft technology. Everything can be built on Microsoft technology, or maybe it's even, hey, here's Microsoft and here are some third-party applications you can add to things that are Microsoft. So our sellers are out there and they're talking to customers, and it could be something, maybe they're looking at, we want to have mobility for a healthcare customer. And I think that's one of the offers that we're working on is mobility access for healthcare customers. So if our sellers look in the OCP catalog, it's an internal tool at Microsoft. If they're trying to find a solution that's already pre-built, then they can go to somebody like Managed Solution. And so Danielle, you were telling me earlier that you've even seen some leads coming in from putting these things in the catalog. Let's talk about that. How's it been so far? Because it's only been, I mean, we started doing this really a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, and we built on it. But what are you seeing so far? Yeah,
we've already seen leads come through the funnel that we're following up with that have been sent based on the OCP catalog and these co-sell offers. So far, so good. We're glad that we worked on some of these materials with you, because not just in the OCP catalog, we also use the documents internally, and it helps with our sales team and our go-to-market strategy. Yeah, so it's helpful.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think a lot of times partners think, well, you guys are asking so much of us in putting these offers together. It really shouldn't be a stretch of what you already have. It should be the same type of materials that you're giving to your sales team and say to them, hey, we've got an Azure Quick Start like we have up on the screen. Well, if you've got your own sales team going to market, do they have a PDF one-pager that they can leave behind for the customer? We'd like to have that. Do you have a slide deck that you can show a customer what this offer is? Do you have some information about customer testimonials? Yeah. We'd like to see what some of those are. It's the same thing we want to equip our sellers with that you're equipping your sellers with. And we'd just like to know, what are the offers that you're taking to market? Let's put those in a catalog, and let's let the Microsoft sellers, which there's about 4,000 of them across the country, how about increasing your army of sellers from your team to an additional 4,000 at Microsoft? That's what OCP catalog is about. And I'll share one more. Another offer of one of my partners from Nath Corp, it just got to be co-sell ready. Nath Corp, the founder of Nath Corp, Raj Nath, invented Active Directory with Bill Gates. there's really nobody better at doing Windows deployments for the enterprise than Raj Nath and his team. So they put together an offer that now our enterprise team can go to market with, zero-touch Windows migrations from Windows 7 and Windows 8 over to Windows 10 Enterprise. These guys know Windows like nobody else. So now our Microsoft sellers can leverage the NathCorp team to come in and do these. We're working on opportunities with them on thousands of desktops with very, very large enterprise companies. So these are the types of things. Figure out what the solution is that you want to put in the catalog. Don't overthink it. What are the offers that you're already taking to market? And let's put those in the catalog. And work with your partner development manager, and we'll get those offers in. Now, another thing I frequently hear is it's on me as a partner to find a bunch of resources, and the partner development managers we're really here to help you drive your business and understand what kind of offers are in market and so forth and so on. But a lot of times you've got to self-serve. And so I wanted you guys to have a couple of slides here that really help you subscribe to the right newsletters, to engage with the Microsoft teams, whether it's Microsoft Partner Network or being able to have different calls or different things available. So there's also another slide here that on the bottom left you'll see if you need training for your team, whether it's around data platform or Dynamics, Office 365. You've got links that you can go to all the technical articles and all the trainings that are available. Got profitability things up here, the ebooks that can help you talk about why it's such an important thing to go vertical and to build out solutions of whether it's healthcare or legal or accounting or whatever the case may be. And then on the bottom right, don't forget about our SMB Insider community. Our team's done a fantastic job, the Insider Joe, the calls that they have. So this is a great way for you to have a couple of slides that can really help you stay connected with Microsoft, even with or without your partner development manager and your partner team. All right, so one more topic for us is Microsoft Inspire, our Inspire conference. This is one, so this will be my 11th partner conference. I went to 5 or 6 as a partner, and then I think this is my 5th or 6th. I can't even remember, but it's a lot. But Inspire, formerly called WPC, it's a big deal. Mm-hmm. I know you guys are making a big investment. How many people are you sending to Inspire this year?
We have six people on our team attending.
That's a big investment.
It is.
Why is it so important for you guys to go to Inspire?
You know, it's a great place, one, for us to get energized and excited about what's coming down, and two, just to understand what's going to be happening in the next year. I mean, Microsoft is our biggest partner, and so it's really important that we understand what your guys' initiatives are and get up to date on what's happening for 2019. So we're excited. Is there
anything in particular about this year? In fact, let me change the slide here because I think there's a few things happening that are a little bit different this year. But is there anything in particular that you guys are most excited about this year as opposed to other years, past years?
I would say just we're really, the ecosystem at Microsoft has changed so much, right? So now our strategy at Inspire needs to change a little bit too. So we want to make sure that we're connecting with the right people. Mm-hmm. And, I always love attending all the sessions. But I would say really this year just making sure that we get in front of a lot of the PDUs and in front of the people that can learn more about managed solution and help us.
Yeah, so you mentioned like the account teams. I know that you're really interested in talking to the account teams. For those of you who aren't aware, Microsoft, so we've always had WPC or Inspire, and then the following week we had our internal conference. It used to be called MGX, and now it's called Ready. So this year, for the first time ever, they're combining the two conferences. And so we'll have all of those Microsoft sellers I was just talking about that we're trying to get in front of with the OCP catalog submissions. They will all be at Inspire starting Tuesday night. We'll be sharing the same keynotes, because the tricky thing about the conferences in the past was it was almost the same content for 2 straight weeks. And then finally the executive said, why don't we just put these conferences together? That made a lot of sense. So now you have the opportunity that you can build your business with other partners, and you'll be able to work with the Microsoft account teams. Now, we talked about having offers, the OCP catalog offers, and one of the things that I love about having a catalog offer is it gives you something now that you can go to those account teams and say, hey, this is an offer that we can co-sell together. Instead of sitting down with them and saying, hey, which accounts do you work? We want to do some account mapping. I will tell you guys that does not work with the Microsoft team. If you have an offer and you say, hey, this is our Azure quick start, and this is what it does. Here are our customer testimonials. This is what we've done for past customers. Can we co-sell this together? Are there customers that you have that might be interested in something like this? That works. So have these co-sell ready offers in market before you go to Inspire, as well as be P sellers, right? And I know we've got some P sellers on your team as well.
We do.
So do you guys see the value of when you're talking to the account teams that, hey, I'm a P seller?
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly gives some, credibility and legitimacy to what we bring to the table, and helps facilitate that co-sell relationship with Microsoft. So.
Yeah. So I put up on the slide here just an overview of what the week is going to look like. So again, things are kicking off, pre-days, Saturday and Sunday. But Monday and Tuesday are 100% partner to partner. Tuesday night is when the Microsoft team comes in for the Ready conference, and so we'll have the area celebration. Wednesday all day you'll have the availability of creating meetings and working with the Microsoft account teams. Wednesday night, Bruno Mars.
Oh,
Pretty
wow.
excited about Bruno.
That'll be fun.
You didn't know about Bruno?
I didn't know about Bruno.
So surprise!
All right.
Bruno Mars is going to come. We're expecting over 40,000 people for the concert because we've got
Wow.
the two conferences coming together.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
It'll be at the Las Vegas Speedway. Normally you do like a baseball stadium. We have too many people, so we're going to the Speedway.
Wow.
So it'll be a huge event for us there.
Can I pitch one event in there? And
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
event that I
Yes,
want to talk about
go for
is
it.
Sunday night. We will have the IAMCP Speakeasy Party. That will be a special event. It's not just for IMCP members, so you guys are all welcome, but certainly we'd love to talk to you about IMCP. And of course, Justin, as our founder of the IMCP SoCal chapter, is a big proponent, so always participates.
Absolutely. So one last thing, guys. If you've not signed up for Inspire yet, do it now. Price right now is $22.95. The price will go up on June 1st to $25.95. So if you do it today, you save $300. You will also have better choices of hotels. Now I know that there's already a lot of people signed up, so some of the hotels may already be taken, but the earlier you get in, the better. If we get to June and you try to get a hotel, now in past cities, there's not as many hotels as there are in Vegas, but definitely try to get in earlier. Hotels are probably the main thing. If you can get in at the Mandalay or Delano, that's probably the best, since that's where we'll be most of the time. But sign up now if you haven't already. All right, guys. Well, we've got just a couple minutes left. Any closing words? Any closing advice for the partners who might be listening?
Well, thanks again for having us. I absolutely appreciate it. I would say the conversation we had today around CIE, again, has been really, really impactful for our business. So I recommend the customer immersion experience to all partners, and then also, leveraging it through the channel as well.
Maybe talk a little bit about your partner program, because I think that's something that's really unique that you're offering. When I saw that come out from you, I was really impressed with what you're doing there. It's something that I've talked about with partners, and I directed a couple of partners to take a look at your site, because I thought this is brilliant, and driving partner relationships with other organizations is something that IMCP obviously is built around, but it's something that more and more partners, I think, need to be able to take advantage of. There's nobody who does everything that's available in the Microsoft ecosystem. So no matter who you are out there, there's an opportunity here to partner with other folks, but it's great that you've laid out a strategy around that and actually have a focus on it.
Definitely. Yes, so our partner program is really built. We focus on our channel partners. We also have referral programs for our customers and incentives around anyone sending referrals our way. But for gaps in what we don't provide, we leverage IAMCP and other organizations that we're a part of to look to partner with those companies that we can add to our portfolio to really provide an overall solution for our customers and build on that. Thanks, Art. Even talking about Inspire, one of the things I like best is talking to other partners about what partnerships they leverage, their strategic partnerships, and then what works for them. So talking with partners at Inspire is a great resource for us.
For anybody who's out there who's listening, I'd certainly encourage you to reach out to Tina and Danielle and talk to them. Yeah.
Second that. They're a fantastic partner. Like I said, guys, they're our #1 CSP partner in the country. Now I know they're going to have some competition for next year, but they're going to keep fighting. So we'll continue to drive that together. Eric, 30 seconds. We got final words.
Just, I always usually do the sales tips. Don't have time for that today, but keep focusing on your verticals. Keep focusing on your packages. I'll close with that.
All right, guys. We really appreciate you joining us today, and look for us again next week on the panel. Have a great day.
Hey there, my name is Sherman Crancer, and I'm the Senior Partner Channel Development Manager here at Microsoft and the host of The Panel, Strategies from the Titans of Sales and Industry. If you're interested in understanding how you can build large margins through packages, if you're interested in how to create differentiation within the marketplace, or simply you want to understand the latest cutting-edge sales and marketing techniques, make sure you join us each week on Fridays from 9 to 10 a.m. Thanks so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.